Hi there, today we're unboxing a DJI Osmo Pocket. So details are in the description below for anyone thinking of purchasing. So this particular product is a 3-axis gimbal stabilized with an integrated camera. So an all-in-one compact item. So let's have a quick look around the packaging. Comes nicely packaged in a very small package. The actual camera itself, there's a picture of that here on the front. If we come round, we've got the website and we've got some basic details on the back. I've covered up the serial number and some branding there. Okay, so let's open it up and see what we get. Okay, so I laid out all the items you get in the packaging, so let's quickly go through them. So initially you get a booklet which has disclaimer and safety guidelines. And then you've got a quick start guide. So both of these booklets are in multiple languages. Okay, and then you got for more information, visit our, and it's got multiple social media locations. Okay, Osmo Shield. So this is an additional warranty. Not sure if this comes at a price, but I'll look into that later on. It has to be activated within 30 days. So there's a quality assurance, accidental hardware damage coverage, includes water damage and free two-way shipping. Sounds good. Hope it is free. Okay, got an actual strap to attach to the case so you can carry it and attach to your hand. So the length of this, if I get my ruler, just quickly show. So it's about 16 centimeters. Okay, next we've got the actual charge cable. Let me take the clip off. And the quality of this is really nice, really strong build quality on this. You've got USB on one side and Type-C on the other side. And lengthwise, it's approximately 45 centimeters. Okay. Then you've got two adapters. So one is Type-C and another one is the iPhone Lightning adapter. So this is to connect a mobile phone to the actual device. Okay, next you've got a carry case. So feels of tough, rigid plastic all the way around. Got some branding on there and a picture of how it should be placed into the actual carry case. Okay, it can be opened like so, and this is of softer plastic now, more rubbery feel to that. And inside there's like a soft material just to protect the device. So tough plastic on the outside, soft material on the inside, and a rubber strap to hold it in place. Okay, and finally the actual camera itself. So really impressed how small it is, very compact in size. So let me get my ruler and just actually give you the dimensions. So 12 centimeters tall. So very small. And if we actually look at the actual bottom half of it there, so that's about 8.5, just a little bit above 8.5. Width wise, just a little bit above 2.5. The depth is around 2. And again, just to double check, it's just a little bit over 2. So yeah, and very light as well, hardly anything in terms of weight. If I come in close, just to give you closer inspection, so there's the actual camera. So let me take the actual protective cover off it. Okay, so the sticker here indicating for first time use, make sure you follow the steps in the DJI Mimo app, and then details on the actual buttons you have here. So this one is the shutter record button, and this is the power function button. Now let's take that off as well, and there's a screen just behind that. So if I come below here as well, this is the slot where the adapters go in. So you can just slot the adapters in and your phone plugs in at the side. And just to show an adapter going on, so let me take the Type-C adapter here, come in at this angle and push it on. And it does go on quite firmly. So the device is quite light, so no real weight on your phone if you do connect it. Let's pull that out again. Okay, and if I come underneath there, you've got the actual model of it and a QR code will come around. You've got a micro SD card slot. So it didn't come with any micro SD cards, but I've got one here. 64 gig, and we'll plug that in. Simple as just pushing it in and it clips in. If I push it again, it comes out, and there. At the back, nothing, just some branding and nothing more. So very simplistic. Okay, so I've got a digital scale here and I've attached the device to the bottom of there just to give you an idea of weight. So there you go. In terms of grams, it's 130 grams. So hardly any weight to it. Okay, so next, let's take the actual carry case and the strap. And if we look for the point where there's 2 holes, and let's attach it. So pretty straightforward. Just feed in cable, the thinner one, in one end, and then push it out the other end. So, okay, once that ends through, just take this side, just feed it in, and there you go, it's attached. Now, as the picture shows up here, you can just take the camera and slide it straight in. So if I take it like so, and there you go, slots in quite nicely. And if you actually have a look, if I come in at that angle, you can even charge it while it's in the case. So locks into position like so, and there you go, very nice and neat. And again, let me give you the dimensions of this one. So the actual case itself, slightly bigger obviously to fit it, and it's 13.5 centimeters by, say, 3.5 really with the strap. So very small really, and easily handheld. And just to show the actual charge cable getting plugged in there, so that should be achievable as well. Ample space in there, so really nice. You don't have to take it out at all to charge it. Okay, so next, let's make a start at setting up this device. So I've got my Android phone here, and I'm going to go to Play Store. I want to search for DJI Mimo and install that. Okay, now it's installed. Let's click open. Okay, allow it access. Okay, successfully updated. Let's agree and allow access to its location. Okay, so let's make a start at setting up the actual camera. So if I click here, and it gives you 2 methods of connecting. So you can use a smartphone adapter or Bluetooth. So let me show how to use the actual smartphone adapter. So if I take the device, take that off, type C for this particular phone, slot that on, it's locked into position. Now, there's my type C port there, just connects on. There you go, quick picture of how it's done. Click done, and we can power on the device. Okay, so there's a menu selection there. Yeah, allow DJI Mimo to access Osmo Pocket. Okay, and there's terms of use. Okay, so getting a message saying activate Osmo Pocket. Hardware module needs to be activated for first time. The camera is connected. When activated, you have a 1-year warranty. Okay, so if I do that, click next. Please activate after login. So if I say login, and I'm going to have to register an account. So let me do that off camera. Okay, so I've entered in my login details and it's activating the device. Okay, activation success. Notice for beginners, basic details there. Okay, there's a new firmware update. So let me download that and install that as well. Okay, so it's updated. And that's it, we're ready to use it now. Okay, so now the camera's set up. Let me show what it's capable of. So obviously at the moment it's connected via the Type-C connector at the side here. If I click the icon there, it goes into a mode where you can see whatever the camera's picking up on your phone. So very useful. Obviously the screen here is very tiny. I'll show it in a moment how it looks and how it's operatable via that. But for the moment, let's concentrate on the actual mobile. So if I come in a bit closer, just so you can see the options available, obviously you've got home to go back to the beginning, then JPEG, it's going to take photos in JPEG, you've got battery and then SD card levels. Okay, and then if I click here, you've got different modes. So it's in slow follow at the moment, and then that's fast follow. Okay, and here the actual gimbal mode. So if I click on there, it's in follow mode. So it will attempt to follow an object if you select it. Then you've got tilt locked, so it'll avoid it moving. And then FPV mode, so first person view. That's the one we prefer. So, and then if I click here, you've got a timer. So this timer will initiate the actual photo being taken after a certain time. So if I, for instance, go to 3 seconds, click photo, and there you go, then it takes it. Okay, let's turn that off. And then here you've got additional options, so basic and pro for photos. So the photo ratios available are there. Anti-flicker, so actual screen, so 50 hertz to 60 hertz. Glamour effects, low, moderate or high. You can have a grid on if you wanted to. Okay, overexposure tip and focus mode. Oh, let me go back and show Pro. Pro has the actual format. So these are the other formats, so JPEG plus RAW. You've got photo ratio. Then you've got white balance, it's on auto. Again, anti-flicker, glamour effects, grid, overexposure tip, histogram, and focus mode. Okay, now let me click on that. Gimbal easy control is on, and gimbal auto calibration. So you can calibrate it if it's on a flat surface. So that's if the actual control has gone a bit strange. It's always good to calibrate it again. Okay, let me click on that. Firmware version, you've got SD card capacity, and you can format as well. Okay, let me go back, click back here. Okay, some details there. Okay, so next, got an icon here. This will flip the actual camera around, and then if I click it again, it will put it back into the front position again. Then you've got story mode here, and if I click up there, pano, this allows you to take a panoramic shot. So this will actually initiate the camera to actually move itself and take a wide angle shot. Okay, photo we've already been on, which is there. Then you've got video. So this is recording your actual video on there. So if I now go to here, you can actually select your resolution. So at the moment, 1080p will go to 4K and the frames per second. So this is one of the key reasons for me getting this. So I've got another channel called Geek Street Travels. Do check it out if you get a chance. And we do a lot of 4K traveling footage. So this will avoid the fisheye effect. That's why I thought I'd get this one. So if I click on there, that's flipped it over to 60 frames. Okay, so you've got fine and super fine as well. Let me actually flick through it so if you can see if it changes to super fine again. Yeah, so it's only when it's okay. Shooting super fine may cause the camera to heat up. Okay, that's good to know. Let's cancel that. And if I go to 1080p, so super fine from 30 and 30 onwards, not even on 50. Okay, that's good to be aware of. So we're looking to do 4K 60 frames per second, and fine should be sufficient for us. Okay, clicking on there. So basic, you've got video format, so MOV or MP4, anti-flicker, 50 hertz or 60 hertz, shift it over to 60 hertz. Grid, if you want to turn the grid on, overexposure tip and focus mode. Go on to Pro, details there. So video format again, white balance, anti-flicker, volume amplification level. Yeah, moderate at the moment. Noise reduction is ticked. Grid is off. Overexposure tip is off. Histogram and focus mode. And that's what you have in there. So let me click over here. Gimbal Easy Control as you had before, and the actual firmware version. Okay, flick back. Now if I go into slow-mo, some details there. Again, the gimbal operation, it's on auto, and you can't change the actual quality on that. Time lapse, so you have a time lapse option on there as well. Click auto and you can change the settings on there. So that's all you have on this, but quite nice how you've got the facility to flip over and add in your camera. But just to note, your camera has to have a Type-C connector on there. So quite nice. You've got this facility to actually connect your phone onto this via the connector and see the display of the camera on there. So very impressed by that. But just to note, the actual connector itself is Type-C. So if you haven't got a phone that's Type-C, you'll have to get a separate cable to enable you to do this. Okay, so you've seen the camera in action with a mobile. So now let me show you it working standalone. So very straightforward to turn on. You've got two buttons and it's the one on the right. If I hold on to that, and you see it initializing, and then the screen comes on. And just to show the actual screen quality on this, picture quality is really good, and it's all touchscreen, which is really impressive. So for instance, if I just push down the slightest glide, it just moves along. So one of the challenges I had when I initially turned this on was the language was stuck in Chinese. So if you are having that issue yourself, this is how you change it. So you drop it down, click on there, move it along once, click on more, then on language, and then you can just pick the language you require. Okay. So now if I cancel that again, let me go back in, show you the options you have available. So battery, calibration, tilt, control, and auto power off. So tilt control is quite an interesting one. I'll come to that in a second. And if we go here, storage, accessories, anti-flicker and more, there you go. Come out of that. And this is the tilt control. So very interesting how they've done this. So there's no buttons at the sides to actually do this, straight on the screen. So if you just hold on to it, it will move the camera. So really impressive how it works. Okay, so I'll just flick along, just show you the other options. That's for focusing, that's for pro mode, that's the brightness of the actual screen, and that's it. Okay, next, let's go from the bottom. Okay, you've got this one to recenter. If I go there, that's to flick the camera around, so point to yourself if you're in sort of a vlogging mode. That's the follow and fast follow. And that's the actual tilt operation or the follow mode on the camera. So you can flick between different options. So we just want it on FPV. Okay, so go out of that, come in this way now. And this is where you'd flick between the different modes. So photo, video, slow-mo, time lapse, and pano. So quite interesting how this works. Let me show some of these. So for instance, slow-mo, I can put it on that, literally just hit record, and I'll put a sample footage of this so you can see it, and that's it, that's recorded that. If I now go to say pano, so that's a panoramic shot, and just click that, and there you go. Just hold it still and it will just flip around and just take the shots to give a panoramic picture. Okay, quite useful. And let's flick back, and finally let's show this side. So this is the actual shots you've taken, and you can actually go back and delete if you want to. And that's it. Pretty straightforward really to use this. Really impressed. The actual size and the weight of this is just phenomenal how light it is. So I'll do some sample footage so you can actually see it in action. Okay, so I'm in my garden area just to give a test of the sound quality and picture quality of the camera. Okay, so in the previous video, I couldn't speak too loudly in the garden, so I thought I'd do another one just to give you an idea of the sound levels. So at the moment, I'm about 25-30 centimeters away from the microphone, and the microphone's positioned just above the record button. So hopefully this should give you a clearer idea of the sound quality on the camera. Okay, so you've seen the unboxing and setup of this Osmo Pocket camera. Really impressive a bit of equipment here, I have to admit. 4K at 60 frames per second. Picture quality is absolutely amazing. You've seen the sample footage. So a couple of things to mention about this device. Picture quality is great, but sound is horrible, I have to admit. It's very dull and muffled, and the issue is the small microphone you've got here in the corner. Now, if you're holding it, you can't really hold it like that. You'll sort of cover it up. Now, if you're using it for a blogging situation where you're facing it and you're talking into it, it's fine. Still, it's not absolutely amazing, the sound quality, but it's sufficient. But everything around you, it won't be as clear. Now, there's no adapters. So for example, a GoPro, you can buy an adapter where you can attach external microphones onto it. You can't buy anything like that for this device, so be aware of that. Another thing is the actual gimbal motion. Now, if I pan it slowly, it follows through reasonably well. Now, you've got to be aware how you're using this. So if you want to go for a smooth shot going around, that's not going to work like this. So it does shoot ahead. So in terms of using a normal gimbal and this does move a bit too quickly, I have to admit. So it should be a little bit slower than this. So let me do it again. You see, it just shoots ahead. Now, it can be good in some situations, but if you're doing walking videos like I do for another channel I have, which is Geek Street Travels, it doesn't seem as great as using a gimbal. So there you go. Hope it's helped anyone thinking of purchasing this. Details are in the description below. Thanks for viewing, and don't forget to like and subscribe.